What's up, everyone? It's your boy and your coach, George Caliores, coming at you with my comeback, my speed squat day, my dynamic warm up, or part of it. It's not the whole thing, but it was just enough to get the blood back moving. You can see a little bit. I'm not really going to go into detail about it. These I like, though. They warm up my shoulders really well. They stretch out my lats a little bit, get the elbows warmed up, obviously the abs, whatever, what have you. The next one will be on the tippy toes, walking the toes forward, so you walk the hips up. It's like a moving. I call it an inchworm because you look like an inchworm when you do it. So anyway, the strongman medley, the carry. I had I don't know how many objects, 5 or 6 or something. See in a second. And all I was doing was just picking them up and moving them down to the other end as fast as I can. Pretty simple, but lit my legs up, lit my back up, and got my heart rate all jacked up. I was breathing harder from this than I would have if I did like 20 minutes of that regular conditioning. So hopefully I can get back into some of this stuff. I really miss strongman training. I just don't have the space for it anymore. It's pretty upsetting because strongman training is really what I love. Powerlifting is just a means to maintaining base and strength, but I think that a lot more strength comes from when you can strongman train with those odd objects, put yourself in weird positions, and have to force yourself into good ones. So, um, yeah, I'm gonna try and get back into some more. We'll see. Anyways, enough about that sad story. 50% of my one rep max, 185 pounds plus about 80 pounds of bands. Those bands are starting to get broken in, so they're not about 50 pounds anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and say about 70 or 80 pounds at the top. Brings me right to about 70% of my one rep max is right where I want to be for speed work with bands. You can see I'm wearing my lifters, trying to stay not so much upright, but I'm trying just to give myself some leverages. I don't want to use my back, just my back to lift the barbell. Hitting up some kettlebell swings in between, about 62 or 63 pounds, set to 10. You can see I'm trying to just fire out of the hole as fast as I can, so that way the setup took a long time today, but when you drop down into the hole, you should be already tight, and then you can fire right out of the hole on the way up. And that's just kind of the main idea. You want to basically think about the movement that you're about to do, and then just execute in less than a less than about 1 second, 1 meter a second. So, anyways, trying to hit depth still. Hopefully, I am. These ones I did slow eccentrics and then tried firing out as if it was my one rep max. And I was doing, towards the end, I got bored, so I started doing single arm swings, work the obliques and deep abdominal walls again. Explosive speed with the hips, driving the hips through, getting the hamstrings and the back lit up. And then I just felt like going crazy on some good mornings, so I was doing sets of 10. Some people will call these a quarter squat, not a real good morning, but I really don't care because it's basically my setup. So if you got something to say about my good mornings, I understand. I get it. But at the same time, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and for reasons. Not really anything substantial. I just like these. I like doing them this way better. Trying to keep the shins vertical, but at the end of the day, I don't deadlift with my shins vertical. My knees kind of drive forward. Everything drives forward. My squat drives a little bit forward. I can still feel these good mornings in my hamstrings. I'm definitely not bad. If I forget to fire my glutes, like squeeze my glutes before I drive up on the good morning, I can definitely feel my back, obviously. So anyway, notice that when I come down, I set up again. I don't just try and bounce the bar off the racks. Set back, get a breath of air, drive my hips through, and basically that's like a starting motion. So static, but I started getting tired, so yeah, I didn't want to set up that much anymore. Wanted to keep some of that some of that tension. I was getting tired. This was pretty heavy for me at this point. Plus all that other back, all the other sandbag stuff that hit my back up. So still trying to maintain the posture, but you know, you get tired, you get sloppy, but controlled is still controlled. If you're still thinking about being correct, you might miss, you might not do as well as you wanted to on 1 or 2 reps. But if 80% of your training is good, then you're probably going to come out on top. Switch to a wide stance for a couple more sets after I think I did 3 sets of 10 with a regular stance. These just hit my hips up more, and obviously it's a shortened range of motion, so it's a little bit easier. Still trying to keep the hips back and the shins vertical, but again, I was tired. I haven't really done this weight before. I think it's 145 or something like that and then with the band. So I was just kind of playing around, seeing what would work. Anyways, these I played around with too, some banded jumps. I was doing sets of 15. I really want to try and jump more. Jumping is the ultimate way to gain speed. So I had the bands, I had some sand, um, ankle weights, and then I had some weights I was holding on to. So I did I don't know, 60 jumps I think altogether, 4 sets, maybe 5 sets. I don't really remember. Uh, Fired my quads up. I got to get my hips through a little bit more, but that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your time.